Good morning, everybody. My name is Ellisa Cooper. This is Cooking in Quarantine. Something like day 53. Hello, Phil. How are you? So after burning the quinoa yesterday, since I'm making another quinoa-based salad, I got up this morning and decided to make the quinoa while I was paying attention. So I have gotten a lot done this morning. I've also done 3 loads of laundry, and I'm about ready, and I've cleaned most of the house, and I'm about ready to start ironing the sheets and things. So yes, I did say that I do iron my bedding because it sure does look prettier. And when you live in one room, having a beautifully dressed bed is very important. So here's what's happening today. As soon as I get a few things tidied up and put away, I have a quinoa sweet potato, garbanzo bean salad with bitter greens, cashews, red onions, and cranberries. So it's a vegan fest for sure here today. And we're going to make a little tahini dressing. Hello, Carolyn. To spice this up. And I'm just making a little bit of room for myself here before I reach over and grab the new favorite little toy. You know, my favorite little toy. Dun da da da. Dum dum dee dee. Ah, here we go, guys. And I have my little man right here working with me. So, here are the things that we need for this salad. And I have all the things out. I've got some bitter greens here. And I've got a cup of quinoa cooked and cooling. I have here a 1/3 cup of cranberries. It's supposed to be a 1/4 cup of cashews, but I have a whole pound of them. Who cares? I have cubed and roasted my sweet potatoes just simply by tossing them in olive oil and putting a little salt and pepper. Drained and dried chickpeas, garbanzo beans, whatever you call them. So about the only thing I have really left to do for the prep of the salad is to cut some Bermuda onion. So let's do that. I think it called for 1/3 cup. Yes. So this onion has been in my fridge for a little while. So I'm going to cut off the outside edges of it just so that I have nothing but unadulterated by oxygen pieces of onion to do. And I think that once I get this probably peeled away a little bit, I'm going to have probably just exactly 1/3 cup of onion left. And onion is probably one of my favorite food groups. So let me give this just a tiny little turn. There we go. Happy Saturday to you guys. Hello, Christopher. How's life upstairs? So, or downstairs. I always forget. So I've got neighbors, I've got childhood friends, I've got schoolmates. It's nice to have all of you guys show up here to watch me do this in the morning times. So I'm going to, this calls for diced, but I'm thinking that it's going to be pretty to have something that's not small in here. Right, we've got small things, and I think this is going to be nicer if I have this way. This does ask for me to run my knife through my cashews, so I might as well do that while I'm doing this. Just give them a little chop so that you're not getting a whole cashew in every mouthful. Here, I'm realizing I'm learning. I have to learn everything anew now that I am. Can you guys see? I can't see what you can see because I see your names and your comments. And I don't see anything under my collarbone. So sometimes I'm not really aware of whether you guys are actually seeing what I'm trying to show you or not. So anyway, there we go. Just a few little chunks of the nuts. I don't want them to run away from me. And all I'm doing is biding time until I go down and get the laundry out. There we go. So now what we get to do is make this delicious, delicious dressing. So we need the juice of a lemon. So let's get going here. Oh look, I don't have a cup nearby, but I have this water that needs drinking. So excuse me. And now I can use this to juice my lemon into. And I got some of my water in me. The juice of a lemon, here we go. And it's good. And it also calls for 1/3 of a cup of tahini. So let's get that going. I'm going to get a small bowl over here. I probably should have saved some of that water to water down my tahini. So here's this. And I have Trader Joe's organic tahini. I have never, the only 1 or 2 things that I've ever gotten from Trader Joe's that I wasn't crazy about are so few and far between that I don't think it's really even worth mentioning. I'm not even sure if I can remember what they are. But anyway, let's see. I'm reaching for a spoon. I've really got to get this drawer thing worked out, don't I? I need one more drawer right here. But we'll get it all worked out eventually. So I'm just going to give this tahini a stir because it has separated a little bit. You know how organic peanut butter will separate? Same thing with your tahini. So give it a good little stir. And I will let that be my first dollop. Tahini is just basically sesame butter, right? So I'm going to pour a little bit of that in there. And this is good when your tahini is movable. You won't need as much water to get it to the consistency that you'd like it to be. So it'll just be more flavorful. Here we go. There we go. Don't want to waste any of that delicious. That's just pure fat and flavor, right? What could be better? If fat isn't flavorful, the next few things we're going to put in will be. So let's see, what is next on this? A teaspoon of tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce. Where is mine? Here we go. Look at me being precise. You'd think I was baking, wouldn't you? All right, there we go. Excellent. Next, we need a teaspoon of maple syrup. And I think I can eyeball that. I think I'm smart enough to do that. That looks like a teaspoon to me. And last but not least, a 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder. I have Good Simply Organic. It's pretty new. I bought it, I don't know, first of this year maybe. And what was that, a 1/2 teaspoon? 1/2 teaspoon. So that's not a lot, is it? Let's go down here. Pardon me, guys. Kind of losing my way. Here we are. Let me don't do this with my left hand. Let me do it with my dominant hand. And boom. There we go. Let's close that even if I don't get it all the way put together. And then let's see what she says back here. Let's see. Okay, fantastic. So all I need to do is mix this up real nicely. All right. And then I want to see if it's not the consistency you want it to be. Like I said, if your tahini is thicker, you might need to put some water in here to get it to the desired consistency. Yum. We need a little salt and pepper in here. Not too much salt because, of course, remember that your soy is your salt source in anything that has soy in it. So remember that. And, a little crank of pepper would probably behoove us. That was 8 cranks for my niece, Kate. So, like I said, I always just randomly pick a number, think of somebody, and do as many peppers as is their current age. All right, so I guess it's time to start putting this together. So, I'm going to make a little space here for myself. Very good. I think I might want to tweak it a little tiny bit when we get back to it, but give me just a second. So I'm going to take my onions and get these all separated out in here because I did them in the half rings, right? So you want them to not be clumped together. You want them to be all separated. Ta-dum. And then the beautiful already roasted sweet potatoes, just cubed, tossed in olive oil, salt, and pepper, right? Then garbanzo beans, chickpeas. This is 1/3 of a cup of cranberries. I'm looking at that and thinking those cranberries are going to be lonely in there, and I think that this recipe is going to actually need more cranberries. And then I'm just going to pick this whole mat up if I can. Pardon me while I move that so that you can't see it so much. Here we go. Here we go. And then all of this can come right in here. That can go right into the sink. And now I should probably use a bigger spoon because that doesn't make any good sense. Here we go. So we're just going to turn this together. Now, the recipe does suggest that you dress this as you use it rather than dressing all of it. But I think that's because they want you to put the greens in here. And if you were to put the greens in here, then the greens would fall apart, right? Well, I am going to use this just like a salad topper, right? And you know what? I roasted some more sweet potatoes, and I'm going to put them in there because I think that's a lot of quinoa, and one sweet potato isn't enough. And again, like I said, I don't feel like that this is enough cranberries, so I'm going to double the cranberries just because I love a little fruit. Sorry, Chris Wilford, if you're out there. Hello, Denise. Hey, Denise, are you playing Words with Friends, or is that Dave? If it's you or if it's Dave, I don't care. I'll play with both of you. So start me a game, please. And there we go. That looks much better. Now there's pretty color all through it, right? Isn't that lovely? And I can imagine that when we stick a few greens in there, that's going to be even more beautiful, right? So I'm going to do this just a little differently. I'm going to go ahead and dress this because I want all of that flavor to meld in here. And look how much it's tightened up. It's not moving at all. So I'm going to have to put a couple of tablespoons of water. Pardon my reach. Hello. Whoops. Wrong way. That's one other thing. When my apartment got redone in the summer of 16, they did everything beautifully. Beautiful job. But my water spigots turn this way instead of this way. So that's a strange thing in my house. Now, I'm going to taste this dressing and see if it passes muster for me before I commit all of this big, beautiful bowl of lusciousness to this dressing. Oh my golly, that's really good. It's super lemony, which is awesome. I do think it could be just a tiny bit sweeter. Perfect. And you know me, I need just a tiny bit of heat, especially with all the sweet potato and the fruit. I think that just a tiny pinch of heat is going to behoove us beautifully here. And now let's see what we've got. Good morning, Meredith. Meredith is here early with us. It's very early where she lives. So here we go. Again, this is tahini. I'll read it again. Tahini, lemon juice, a little water, soy sauce, maple syrup, and curry powder, a little salt, a little pepper, and I have added also a little bit of cayenne pepper because I needed more. I just needed more. So I'm just going to pour drizzle this around so that it gets in the middle, the sides, more in the middle where it's taller, right? And then before I scrape it all out, I'm going to start giving it a few turns. You don't ever want to pour everything out in the first pour because you might end up with, like, you know, I always feel like when I'm making cookies or bread or anything that requires mixing flour together with wet ingredients, I mix and I think it looks beautiful, and then I flip the whole thing over and there's like this much dry ingredient still in the bottom of the pan. So that's why I have learned to try to save a little bit in the end, for the end. So now I feel like I've turned everything from the bottom and everything is pretty well dressed. So I'm going to save the rest and drizzle it over the top. Okay. So guys, I am just going to say one thing this morning before I taste this and see how good it is. And I keep seeing a lot of people out there who seem to be, that means that my laundry is done. A lot of people out there who seem to be having a little trouble with the masks. They seem to be second guessing the experts on whether a mask is necessary or meaningful or in some way a nail through your palm into a cross. All it is a way of protecting people who are more vulnerable than you. A way of protecting yourself if you are one of the vulnerable. And if you don't care about what happens to other people, I would like for you to stop watching my show, because that is not the point of life, and you've missed the point of life. The whole point of life is to make connections and share the best of yourselves with other people. So if you don't do that, you've missed the whole point of life. You need to go back to the end of the line and start all over again. Show respect for your fellow man, and if you can't, stay home, because you don't have a place in polite society. Wear the mask, show respect, protect your friends, protect your family, protect your community. 40 years ago, when we were all teenagers and suddenly HIV was killing people, didn't you put on a condom? Didn't you insist on a condom until they figured out what the problem was? Good Lord, people, put your mask on. Protect yourself, protect your community, be a decent person. That's all. Be a decent person. And I'm sorry, you gotta be a decent person 24 hours a day. No, that's not true. You have the time when you're sleeping to dream about all of the horrible things that are inside of us all, but you don't have the right to do them out in the streets and in front of people. So, keep your ugly at home, be respectful and kind and loving in public. End of rant. Now, let's see how this stuff is. This looks good. All right, I'm going to use my soy-laden spoon here. Okay, this is excellent. I am going to make on the side, because this is super rich, like crazy rich. I'm going to make a little super light citrus vinaigrette to dress the greens. Put this on top of the greens, almost like the protein, like you put a piece of chicken or something. Because I do think that this is going to need a little extra acid to zing through this. But this is delicious. I'm very excited. Would anybody like to come over? I have a lot of food to eat. New Yorkers, I know it's raining, but if you bring wine, you can sit in my house. We have been allowed, I believe that the governor has told us that up to, the heck is coming out? Oh, that up to 10 people, not more than 10 people, can gather together. So, hooray, let's have a gathering. Anybody want to come over? You're welcome. My house always has food. So anyway, guys, that's about it. I'm going to run downstairs. Hello, Gina. Hello, Diana. Hello, Julie. And let's see, who else is here? And Carolyn and Meredith and Denise and Naomi. Hello. And Rennie and Kevin. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you guys all for being here today. I'm going to hopefully get downstairs before the dryer stops. And then I can pull everything out before they get all floopy and wrinkly. So that's my story, Morning Glory, guys. You guys have a great day. Wear your masks. Love your fellow man. That's all I ask of you, okay? Ciao, guys.